We could torture ourselves by, I don't know, watching Elon Musk be presented with a rocket fired from Gaza that says never again by a shady group calling itself the Jewish Voice of Europe, flanked by neocon child actor Ben Shapiro looking at his phone, Benacide Shapiro, at Auschwitz as the cucked billionaire Elon Musk sits down with this talentless, annoying little Zionist frenetic gerbil to legitimize genocide at Auschwitz. And I mean, we should actually like do a separate episode just responding to this because it was so insane. I actually watched it.
Wow.
And one of the most incredible moments arrived where Elon Musk actually says, just because a group is vulnerable or weak doesn't mean that doesn't mean they shouldn't be killed if they're trying to kill you, referring to the Palestinians in Gaza, flanked by this never again sign. What happens next is actually pretty crazy. I think we should show this. I'll like increase the speed and turn up the volume. This is worth watching. Okay, so a presentation comes on screen of tweets from the Jewish Holocaust. Okay, so the tweets are coming up, and it's people tweeting from, I can't believe what I just saw. The Nazis told Jews to get inside the synagogue, entire families, infants in their mother's arms. They've closed the doors and set the windows on fire. And basically, this is a presentation in Auschwitz for Elon Musk and Ben Shapiro's event. All these tweets that are supposedly, dated 1941, 1943. Sure, is this, we finally defeated the Juden terrorists in the Warsaw Ghetto, says Franz Conrad, who's a Twitter supporter of Hitler, and then people are clapping back. Then a Nazi propaganda site is saying, here's Auschwitz camp. Members of the thriving Jewish community in our camp perform a rehearsal with musical instruments. And then it's community noted saying, Jews are actually being subjected to genocide there. So the community notes save the day. And the community notes is one of Elon's big, free speech talking points, as if they're not being hijacked by Zionists. Okay, then another, stop the genocide now from Hans Mortimer, dated June 1944. He documented everything. Look at the drawings in the report and read the list. The Nazis are not playing games. And so everybody's documenting genocide on Twitter in the 1940s, the genocide of Jews. And on and on.
I remember you saying AI is potentially the most pressing risk to humans.
The volume's bad. But basically, what this guy from the European Jewish Association is saying is that if we had had Twitter X during the Jewish genocide in Europe, the world would have intervened. The U.S. would have bombed the railroad tracks to Auschwitz. This never would have happened. The pressure would have been too extreme. And Elon Musk, if he had just been there during the Jewish genocide, if Elon had been there, Jews would have been saved. And here is Elon at Auschwitz with one of the top supporters of Israel's genocide in Gaza. And those of you watching are tweeting about this genocide. People from Gaza are tweeting about it. And it's still happening. It's still going on. In fact, they're going to Auschwitz to cheer it on here.
Well, Max, one caveat, they're tweeting about it when they're able to, because sometimes Israel shuts off all the internet access for them inside Gaza. Right. So when
but no one can say they don't know now.
No, of course. I know. I mean, it's just, what I'm saying is it's that worse that even their ability to communicate the outside world is sometimes cut off. But yeah, of course, we're all seeing the genocide unfold. I didn't know about this, so this is just unbelievable. And what is all this about? Because one time Elon Musk on Twitter said something like he mocked the ADL or something. He was like, he said they can go F themselves or something. And he also even liked or reposted or replied to an anti-Semitic tweet. So now he has to bow down to the pro-genocide lobby around the world and, desecrate the memory of Holocaust victims to do it.
Yeah, that's kind of what it's about. It really is about the ADL. It's about the Israel lobby and the ADL. They're running this huge campaign against Elon Musk, but the ADL, okay, they believe in it. Jonathan Greenblatt believes in what he's doing from a pro-Israel Zionist point of view. But the ADL is just a battering ram for the Democratic Party and the New York Times subscriber class that lost its base when Yoel Roth and the whole old censorious regime of Twitter got kicked out by Elon Musk. And so they're trying to get back in there. And the only way is to dislodge Elon. So they found this opening, paint him as an anti-Semite who's emboldening anti-Semites on Twitter and Nazis. And so Elon, in order to mollify the ADL, he's giving in to them. He can't go to Auschwitz with Jonathan Greenblatt. So he organized this trip with this dweeby podcaster, and it should be like beneath the dignity of someone as wealthy and prominent as Elon Musk in an oligarchy like the one we live in to bring this talentless basement dweller, Ben Shapiro, out there. But that's what he has to do because Ben Shapiro is an opponent of the ADL because Ben Shapiro is a conservative, like a social conservative Republican. So he's mollifying the ADL by bringing another wing of the Israel lobby, the Republican wing, in order to give them basically the same, some version of what the ADL wants without ceding total control of Twitter to the old, Democrat liberal censorship regime. That's what this is about. And if you watch the event, you see how utterly unspectacular Elon Musk is, just how uncharismatic he is, incoherent, unable to really string words together. He seems to be it's almost like he's reading like low IQ right-wing tweets in succession rather than speaking from his own intellect. And and him and Ben Shapiro at the same time are putting forward the meritocracy as the ideal for any society to aspire to. Every society should just be a meritocracy and shouldn't take race or gender or history into consideration, as if they rose to the top of a meritocracy. Like the reason that they're there and the reason that Elon Musk is wealthy or that Ben Shapiro has prominence is due to the fact that they inherited wealth or received sponsorship from billionaires in order to advance a political agenda that's in the establishment's interest. That's the only reason they're there. It's not like they just rose up with their boost. Elon Musk's family was wealthy. Ben Shapiro has been backed by Zionist billionaires for his whole career, ever since he was like a 14-year-old calling for the ethnic cleansing of Palestinians in the pages of like some Heritage Foundation town hall magazine. So like the whole thing is just ridiculous. But the irony of it all is that it's being driven by the ADL. Elon Musk is being like pushed around by so many forces that are actually more powerful than him. So to call him the world's richest man is one thing. Technically, he might be that, but he's not independently wealthy.
Yeah, and of course, I mean, what is a pet cause for this crowd, especially Ben Shapiro, Elon Musk too? It's combating identitarianism, cancel culture, woke culture. Well, they're the biggest embodiments of that culture now with their, like Ben Shapiro constantly railing about anti-Semitism on campuses, the firing of university presidents, the crackdown on students, which they support, including a chemical attack on students at Columbia recently
by Israeli soldiers who had just served there.
And this, these hysterical Israeli, like that guy at Columbia, the professor who's constantly talking about how unsafe he feels. I mean, it's such a joke. I mean, Palantir, the private security company, basically doing affirmative action for Jewish applicants, saying like we're going to privilege Jewish applicants. Ron DeSantis waiving transfer requirements for Jewish college students coming to Florida. I mean, like on top of the barbarism they're supporting, also just the stunning hypocrisy. It's amazing.
It's like the most hypocritical thing possible for them to do. And it just shows what Zionism is. It's like the most toxic form of identity politics possible. It's genocidal identity politics. It's cancel culture in the service of mass extermination, at the expense of actually historically oppressed and disadvantaged groups. It's basically identity politics for the elite. And Elon Musk is sitting there talking about how he's aspirationally Jewish. I mean, it couldn't be more clear what's going on there.